H. I always believed loyalty was something you could feel inside your home, like a quiet warmth that never needed words, like a sense of safety that wrapped around you when you closed your eyes at night. And for 7 long years I believed I had that kind of marriage, the kind people look at and say you're lucky without knowing what really happens behind closed doors. My name is Emily, and this is the story of how everything I trusted fell apart on a rainy evening I will never forget. That Thursday felt strange from the start, the sky darker than usual, the air heavy like it was holding a secret. And I was standing alone in my kitchen stirring soup while the rain tapped softly against the windows, waiting for my husband Daniel to come home. He was late again. But that wasn't new. Not anymore, because his job in corporate finance always gave him an excuse. Late meetings, business dinners, last-minute calls, and I had trained myself not to question it, because trust, I thought, meant not asking too many questions. I checked the time, sent him a message saying dinner was ready and to drive safe, and when there was no reply, I brushed it off like I always did. Then I heard the knock. 3 soft but steady knocks on the front door. Not loud, not rushed, just confident enough to make my heart start racing for no clear reason. No one ever came over unannounced, and as I walked toward the door, a strange feeling settled in my chest, the kind you don't understand until it's too late. When I opened the door, there she was, a woman about my age, rain on her coat, her hair pulled back carelessly, her eyes tired in a way that told me she had been crying long before she reached my house. She looked past me, into my home, like she already knew the place, then back at me, and in a trembling voice she asked if Daniel was home. My stomach dropped instantly, and without thinking I said yes and asked who she was, even though every part of me was already scared of the answer. She hesitated, swallowed hard, and told me her name was Rachel, and that she thought we needed to talk. I should have closed the door. I should have protected myself, but instead I stepped aside and let her in, not knowing that I was also letting the truth inside with her. She walked slowly through my living room, her eyes landing on our wedding photo, the couch, the little details that made our house ours, and I saw her face change as realization hit her. She whispered that she didn't know, and when I asked what she meant, she looked at me with tears filling her eyes and said she didn't know he was still married. In that moment, my legs felt weak, and I sat down because my body simply refused to hold me up anymore. She sat across from me, clutching her purse like it was the only thing keeping her together. And when I asked how long, she said 2 years. 2 years that suddenly explained every late night, every phone call taken in another room, every business trip that now felt like a lie I had chosen not to see. She handed me her phone without saying a word, and I scrolled through messages, photos, voice notes, all of them from my husband, all of them filled with love, promises, and a future he was planning with another woman. My hands shook as I read words that were never meant for me to see. And then she said she was pregnant, and something inside me broke so quietly that even I didn't hear it shatter. I didn't scream or cry or ask why. I just nodded, because at that point, the truth felt heavier than any reaction I could give. She apologized over and over, saying she found my address by accident and didn't come to hurt me, just to know if she was crazy. And I surprised both of us by telling her that I already knew something was wrong, even if I didn't know about her. She looked shocked, and that night she told me everything. How he said his marriage was over, how he claimed we were just roommates, how he promised he would leave once things were settled. And as she spoke, I realized she wasn't my enemy. She was just another person who had trusted the same man. The rain outside grew heavier, the hours passed without notice, and when she finally stood up to leave, I hugged her, not because I forgave her, but because I understood her pain. When Daniel came home after midnight, smelling like rain and cologne, I kissed his cheek, told him I was tired, and went to bed beside him, knowing that would be the last lie I ever told him. From that night on, I became quiet, observant, careful, meeting with a lawyer, gathering documents, saving proof, watching him lie with a calm face while he had no idea I already knew everything. 3 months later, on a cold January morning, I placed divorce papers in front of him, and he cried, begged, apologized, called it a mistake. But I listened without emotion because love doesn't survive repeated betrayal. Today, I live alone near the ocean. I drink my coffee slowly. I sleep peacefully, and I no longer wait for messages that never come. Sometimes, when it rains, I remember that knock on my door, the knock that destroyed my marriage but saved my life at the same time.